Have you ever wondered why some people become wealthier every year without winning the lottery or earning a huge salary, while others work all day and still have almost nothing left at the end of the month? The difference is not always how much money you make. The bigger difference is where your money goes after you earn it. Most people earn money and spend it. Wealthy people try to use their money to build or buy assets that can create value and potentially produce more income over time. This idea was popularized by Robert Kiyosaki in Rich Dad Poor Dad, but the real lesson is not simply about earning more money. It is about changing the way you think about money. Instead of asking, "How much can I earn?" start asking, "What can I build or buy that could help me earn more in the future?" Today, we are breaking down 7 assets that can help build long-term wealth. The first asset is yourself. Before investing in stocks, real estate, or a business, invest in your own knowledge and skills. Imagine giving to people the same $10,000. One understands budgeting, investing, business, and financial decisions. The other spends without a plan and knows very little about money. 5 years later, their financial situations could look completely different. Why? Because money is only a tool. Your ability to manage it, protect it, and grow it is what matters. That is why wealthy people invest in learning. They read books, develop useful skills, study money, improve their decision-making, and look for ways to increase their earning ability. Imagine Ryan saves $5,000. He could spend it on a new phone, expensive clothes, or something that gives him temporary satisfaction. Instead, he uses part of it to learn a valuable skill. After months of studying and practicing, that skill helps him earn more. Now he can afford the things he wants while still building his savings. That is the difference between spending money and investing in yourself. A job can disappear. A business can fail. But knowledge and useful skills can help you rebuild. So ask yourself, over the last year, how much did you spend on improving yourself? And how much did you spend on things you simply wanted? Start small. Set aside part of your income for learning and skill development. Because your first and most important asset is not a house, a car, or a stock portfolio. It is the person who knows how to create, manage, and grow wealth. And once you invest in yourself, you can begin building something that creates another source of income. That brings us to asset number 2, an income-producing business. Asset number 2 is an income-producing business. Many people believe you need millions of dollars, a huge office, and a large team to start a business. That is not always true. A business can begin with a simple service, a product, a skill, or an idea that solves a real problem. The goal is to create something that provides value and can generate income beyond your regular paycheck. Imagine someone named Alex who works a full-time job during the day. Instead of spending every evening watching TV, he uses a few hours each week to build a small online business. At first, he makes almost nothing, but he keeps learning, improving his product, finding customers, and reinvesting part of the money he earns. Over time, the business grows. Now Alex has 2 potential sources of income instead of 1. That is the important shift. You do not have to quit your job tomorrow. You can start small and build gradually. The biggest mistake is waiting for the perfect time or believing you need a huge amount of money before you can begin. Start with what you already know. Ask yourself, what skill do I have that could solve a problem for someone else? Your first business does not need to become a massive company. It simply needs to create real value. But there is another way to make your money work for you, even if you do not want to run a business. That brings us to asset number 3, ownership through stocks and index funds. When you buy shares of a company, you are buying a small piece of that business. If the company grows and performs well over the long term, your investment may grow too. But many people make the same mistake. They hear a stock tip online, invest without understanding it, panic when the market falls, and sell. Then they decide investing is too risky. The real problem is often a lack of knowledge and patience. You should understand what you are investing in before putting your money at risk. And if choosing individual companies feels too complicated, diversified index funds can provide exposure to many companies through one investment. The advantage is diversification. Your entire investment is not dependent on a single company. The key is consistency and a long-term mindset. Imagine 2 friends who each have an extra $500 every month. One spends it all. The other invests a portion consistently in a diversified portfolio. At first, the difference is barely noticeable. But over many years, compound growth can create a major difference. The lesson is simple. Do not just work for your money. Learn how to put some of your money to work. And once you understand investing, There is another major asset wealthy people often consider. Asset number 4. Income-producing real estate. Asset number 4 is income-producing real estate. When most people hear the word asset, they think of a house or land. But owning property does not automatically make it a good investment. The important question is what that property does for your finances. If a property constantly takes money from you through a mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance, it may be a financial burden. But if a property produces rental income after its expenses, it can become an income-producing asset. Imagine two people with enough money to buy a property. The first buys an expensive home mainly for personal use and takes on a large monthly payment. The second carefully evaluates a rental property and chooses one where the numbers make sense. If the rental income covers the expenses and leaves money left over, that property may help build wealth over time. But real estate is not guaranteed to make you rich. You have to consider the purchase price, financing, taxes, repairs, vacancies, insurance, and local market conditions. So never buy property simply because someone says real estate always goes up. Understand the numbers first. Ask yourself, will this property realistically put money into my pocket, or will it constantly take money out? Now let's move to asset number 5. Things you create that can generate income repeatedly. You do not need a physical store or factory to create something valuable. Your knowledge, creativity, and skills can become assets. Think about a writer who spends months creating a book. The work happens once, but the book can potentially be sold to new readers for years. The same idea can apply to online courses, software, digital products, designs, videos, and other original creations. The goal is to create something valuable that can continue providing value without requiring you to start from zero every time. Imagine Sarah, who knows a lot about cooking. Instead of keeping that knowledge to herself, she creates useful cooking videos and eventually develops a digital cookbook. She has turned her knowledge into something that can potentially reach thousands of people. You may think you have nothing valuable to teach, but you probably know something that could help someone else. Maybe you understand technology, photography, education, fitness, cooking, or business. The question is not, am I an expert at everything? The question is, what problem can I help someone solve? So write down 3 things you know well. Then think about how one of them could become something useful for other people. Because when you create something valuable, you are not getting paid only for the hours you work. You are building an asset. And that leads us to asset number 6, assets that can continue generating income over time. Asset number 6 is building a collection of income-producing assets. By now, you can see the bigger picture. Wealth is not only about how much money you earn from your job. It is also about how much value and potential income your assets can create over time. That income could come from dividends, rental properties, business profits, royalties, or other productive assets. Imagine 2 people each have $50,000. The first spends most of it on things that lose value over time. The second uses a portion of it to build a diversified collection of productive assets. 5 years later, the first person may simply have older possessions. The second person may have assets that have continued generating income or growing in value. That does not mean every investment will succeed. It means the mindset is different. One person asks, what can I buy that will make me feel good today? The other asks, what can I build or buy that could make my financial future stronger? That question can completely change the way you handle money. Think about your own situation. When you receive extra money, do you immediately look for something to spend it on? Or do you consider putting some of it toward an asset? You do not need to invest every dollar. You still need money for everyday expenses, emergencies, and things you enjoy. The goal is balance. Build the habit of directing some of your money toward productive assets instead of allowing every extra dollar to disappear. And remember, the purpose is not to become rich overnight. The purpose is to gradually create a financial system where your money and assets can work alongside your income from work. But there is one final asset that people often overlook. It does not sit in a bank account. You cannot buy it at a store. And once you lose it, you can never get it back. That asset is your time. Asset number 7 is time-saving systems. Money can potentially be earned again. Time cannot. If your entire business depends on you personally doing every single task, you may have simply created another job for yourself. Wealth and financial freedom are not only about earning more. They are also about gaining control over your time. That is why successful business owners often create systems, delegate appropriate tasks, use technology, automate repetitive work, and organize their processes. Imagine two business owners. The first must personally handle everything. If they take a day off, the business stops. The second has trained people and established clear systems. If they step away for a few days, the business can continue operating. Their income might be similar, but their freedom is completely different. That is the power of building systems around your time.